rebooted when we reboot the system. So this is about the snapper. Then sudo transactional-update --help. Let's pipe into less. And this is the main command for modifying the system in the deb. Here we have the cleanup command. Here is also grub.cfg to regenerate grub.cfg. We can also make modifications on grub.cfg, and then we have to use the transactional-update command to regenerate the grub.cfg. Because when you want to make changes, you have to write it into a new snapshot. So if you make changes on the system and don't use the transactional-update command, you reboot, the changes are gone because the core system is made secure. Okay, and then we have reboot. It may be helpful when you just want to update the system and reboot afterwards, for example, the manual way. Okay, and then we have the package command. So this would be transactional-update and then just dup, and so you can combine, for example, make the dist upgrade and then set before the general command reboot. Also, it's possible to just run one command in a new snapshot, and the most important may be also start a shell. Open a read-write shell in a new snapshot before exiting. So, and this is an option where you get a new snapshot of the system and then can apply changes within. When you make multiple operations, then this is the best way. Okay. Then also you can set the rollback to an other snapshot, and here's a simple command rollback last, or you give the specific number to which snapshot you will roll back. So this is the number which you get with sudo snapper list. Okay, and then what I like is the -- continue option as well. Here you can give also a number on which snapshot you want to work. When you, for example, open a shell with transactional-update, or you just use -- continue or -c to work on the last snapshot. So this is important when you, for example, running the system and the system was actually updated but not rebooted, then you have to use the -- continue option. So I show you. Snapper list. In this case, the system is running on snapshot 20. So we have to reboot to run the 21 snapshot. And when I say, okay, I just want to make changes within this snapshot before reboot, then I have to use the -- continue option. Okay, sudo transactional-update. Then we use the option -- for example, you use reboot. I'm not sure. Can you use reboot and dup? Maybe, I'm not sure. But normally you don't care. I show only the manual way here. So open a shell. We use -- continue and then open a shell. And then you will see he opens a shell in this new snapshot. Otherwise, when I don't give continue, he would create a new snapshot from the current running snapshot. And then it would be the case that we have two different new snapshots. This with the system update and this where I just start the shell. So in this way, this is just important. Just work on the snapshot where you have already executed some system changes. Okay. So transactional-update continue shell. We open a shell. Now we see we have a login, a shell with another bash prompt, and transactional-update started. Continue shell. Here you see using snapshot 21 as base for new snapshot 22. So he is creating a new snapshot, but using 21 as the base. And if we don't use the dash continue option, he would use the number 20 as base. So that's it. And now we just can use, for example, the zipper command. And zipper ls is just giving listing the repositories. Here we can also enable and disable some repositories. And here you see it's using, in the depth of the system, it's using tumbleweed within. And this was the MicroOS DVD. I think so. So you see here 3 repositories are disabled. So then we can just use dist upgrade again. It's just checking, and then he says there's nothing to do, because within the new snapshot all the updates were installed. So now we can install a program, for example. Let's check. VLC, htop. Yeah. Maybe let's check. Do we have what was this? Featherpad. Yeah. Let's install Featherpad, for example. Now we install a program, Featherpad, and we install it in the core system. In this case, this is not the usual way. And we remove, for example, htop. Now we install a program, we remove a program, and can we install as well bash top? No provider, but btop. Yeah, btop install. And now you see we installed Featherpad and we installed btop. And now htop is already here available because we stay in the current running snapshot. We don't get the changes immediately, instantly. And btop is also not available here, and Featherpad is also not available here. So we have to reboot to get the new installed programs, okay? But this is not the normal way to do it, but it's how I like it to do it. Because some important programs I like to run within the core system as well. But the whole concept of MicroOS is mentioned to be to separate the core system and the installed applications. So we just made now some changes with zipper within the core system, within a new snapshot of the core system. And then we just exit this transactional update shell. And now we see transaction completed. Exit status is 0. So this means 0 errors. This is also important to check. If there is an error, you have to check the details, what was going wrong. And then we get also close snapshot 22 using Snapper as snapshot manager. New default, and here this is important. New default snapshot is 22 here. Okay. Please reboot your machine to activate the changes and avoid data loss. Now we execute again snapper list. Now you see the current running snapshot 20, the new 21 snapshot. And then we have the 22 snapshot with plus, which will be booted after reboot. And the plus marks that it is the new default. And here we see the 21 snapshot is an update of the number 20 snapshot. And this is an update of the 21 snapshot. So, and if I would start a shell without the dash continue, I just show you. Now you will see. Now you see it's using the number 20 as snapshot, creating a snapshot 23 with a base of 20. And this is what you normally don't want. Only if you have a snapshot where things gone wrong and you think, oh no, I don't want this snapshot, then you go to another base, okay? Or you give dash continue with a specific number from which snapshot you want to continue. In this case, I do nothing, close this, and then list. And now we see we have again a new snapshot from 20. And this is what we don't want. But this is now marked as default, okay? So there's also an option to set the default snapshot with sudo snapper. In this case, we want to set the snapshot 22 as a new default. How to do it? --help pipe into less, and then sudo list create modify here sudo snapper modify and then default and then gives the number. This is a command. Sudo snapper modify with W letter key you can do the bash completion --default and then we give 22. So again sudo snapper list, and now we set the 22 snapshot to the default snapshot, and we could also remove the 23 with delete and then give 23, but make sure you know what you are doing. I don't do this in this case. We just do the restart and then we see the changes. So this is about the core system. Just to show you, Flatpak